Everybody's talking politics these days, but a new survey by an evangelical group, Lifeway, found that 79% of respondents do not want their pastors talking about it in church. Now, do you think a pastor shouldn't say, you know, hey, this is how I feel, or are they talking about saying, you know, you got to do what I say or what I mean, I'm not sure which thing people are uncomfortable with.
Well, I think that if they're not paying taxes, because there is that issue of separation of church and state, and if the church is not paying taxes, which they do not, then they have to keep their bazooks shut on the topic, because otherwise they're breaking the law, basically.
Yeah, they are. I mean, according to the Internal Revenue Code, I believe it's a 501c3. If you endorse a candidate or if you're involved in their political campaign, you can lose your tax-exempt status. But I'm part of that 79%. I grew up in the church. I think it's okay to talk about political issues, but to endorse a particular candidate, to talk about politicians, I'm just not really comfortable, because church is supposed to be a place where that unites us and that brings us together. And I just feel like politics in general can be so polarizing and divisive.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very interested in what my pastor has to say, and if they should be teaching from a biblical worldview about the issues. But we also have to remember that within the church, not everybody holds the same political viewpoint. So for a pastor to support one particular candidate from the pulpit wouldn't be right. But of course, that pastor can have their personal opinion as
exactly
in private conversation. But I really want to hear from a political point of view what the issues are from a biblical worldview, and then I should, as a Christian or a person in the church, then make my decision based upon that.
But what if the person that they're talking about is really evil? Should they then not say what they really believe?
No, I don't think they should, because I think I don't come to church to hear about politics. Like, everywhere in our world we have that.
Yeah.
I feel like what you said, it's a uniting place to be together. And I think when a minister or a pastor or someone brings that up, it is polarizing, and I think it affects your safety and your feeling of being included in that space.
You know, the Catholic Church has been criticized over the years because Pope Pius XII did not really speak out against Hitler. And so for years there's been this controversy. Did the Pope not speak out enough? And to some people in the church say, well, we didn't want to exacerbate it by speaking out. And others say you should have spoken out. So it's not an open and shut case all the time, because if something is really that dangerous and scary, it is incumbent upon these leaders to speak out against evil.
Discovered with Pius, as it turns out, is he was saying very little and doing very much. He was hiding folks out. Yeah, Pope Pius was hiding people in churches and rectories, and just hiding Jews everywhere.
Yeah.
So and not saying much, but under his guidance, which is something that didn't come out until the last 4 or 5 years. But I wonder if you have an amazing person, or someone your pastor or priest or whatever feels is someone doing something spectacular, should they make it about their viewpoint? If they say, you know, this person's doing extraordinary things, they are living the life that I think that you should be living as a Catholic, Christian, Buddhist, whatever, is that off limits as well? And what do we do with Jerry Falwell? Because if, in fact, you're not allowed to endorse folks.
He does, though, doesn't he?
I believe he does.
Yeah, and I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, why does he continue to not pay taxes in his church, then?
I mean, I think there is this law, but really there's only a handful of cases that they've enforced and really cracked down. So,
well, here's something I found kind of bizarre and odd. A church committee in Canada, wants to defrock a female minister because she's an atheist. Now, I don't want to say only in Canada can this happen, but it's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? A minister, it's a minister. So I'm not sure I understand what this person is ministering.
Isn't that like a baseball player deciding that they don't want to hit the ball with a bat anymore and they want to kick it through a field goal? I mean, they need to leave and then go play football if they don't want to play baseball anymore.
I don't know. I'd like her to come on and sort of talk about what kind of ministry she has.
Well, maybe she's redefining it and talking about spirituality, like the more, the broader truths, that spiritual life is more about bringing people together, love, not judging, but not under any specific dogma.
But if she's under the umbrella of an organized religious church, then that doesn't make sense. Then she should start her own church of spirituality that she wants to minister to, that doesn't have to do anything with God.
Well, I'm guessing that her congregation knows what they signed up for. Can you imagine if someone's learning right now, you don't believe in God?
I think that's why they're talking about, you know, releasing her. But I just find it fascinating. I was being funny with Canada. I spent a lot of time up there, so I just kind of feel, you know, I spend lots of time up there, and I just realized that it might have come off kind of, you know, crappy.
Well, let me ask you something.
I didn't mean to. Love you, Cam.
You know, yesterday we were talking on the streaming part of the show. I'm sorry that people missed it, about Mother Teresa, who Mother Teresa had doubts that God existed. So maybe an atheist has a lot of doubts, but that doesn't mean she can't speak to her flock in an intelligent and even, you know, spiritual, Christian, whatever.
It's clear that Mother Teresa, her persona said she believed in God. And so I don't think people ever think that religious people have these kind of things. But this is a woman who, as an atheist, does not believe that God exists at all, all the time.
Yeah, no,
She's 100% sure.
Well, that's, I don't know if she's sure. Come on the show, girl.
Yeah.
Come and talk to her.
I'd love to see her,
Yeah, I think it would be fun to have her. You know, Chelsea Clinton is here live when we come back. So we're going to go.
So the ladies had some questions for Gary Johnson.
Did you have a brain freeze moment?
How do you plan on recovering?
Thank you for saying I don't know, because that's human.
Enjoy.
I think it's a disqualifying statement.
Fair enough.
So will you get out of the brace now?
The political season's heating up. Don't miss The View next week on ABC.
Former and possibly future first daughter Chelsea Clinton is deep into her family's 4th presidential campaign, but even she's got to be a little rattled by this one. Please welcome the fabulous Chelsea Clinton. Good to see you. Thanks for coming, darling.
So excited. Thanks for having me, and happy anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
20 years. Your mother's been on quite a few times on this show.
She has. Well, hopefully at least once a year, maybe.
At least once a year.
Great.
Now, Chelsea, we were talking about this yesterday, and I just want to ask you, you saw this latest piece with Matt Lauer. Did you feel it was balanced, or did you feel it was, you know, out of whack? What did you feel when you saw it?
Well, I felt a lot of pride for my mom. I should disclose I'm deeply biased towards my mother. Well, thank you. I own that. Now, as a mom, I have 2 little kids, Charlotte, who turns 2 later this month, and her baby brother Aiden, who's just 2.5 months. I hope my children are as proud of me as I am of my mom someday. So I just was so proud of my mom taking serious questions seriously and looking to give serious answers out of respect for the veterans who were on the Intrepid in the room and for the millions of voters who were tuning in across the country.
But you think that the questioning was unfair, because that's the criticism that Matt Lauer's getting, quite a bit of it.
Well, I'll leave that to the media pundits.
Okay.
But as a daughter and as a voter, I was really proud of my mom for being so focused on what's really at stake in this election, including who will be our next commander-in-chief.
But you know, the polls are close, and it's galling that the polls are close to me. I'm just as biased as you are. And she's not my mother.
Disclaimer there.
She sometimes calls her mom as well.
But the polls are close, and I don't understand it. On the one hand, you have, you know, your mother who knows a lot, who's got so much experience. She's more qualified than anybody. Your father and President Obama both said she's more qualified than they are. And on the other side, you've got this rogue candidate who basically has done nothing in politics, who seems to not be informed on a lot of things. How do you account for this closeness in the polls?
Well, we always expected this to be a close race.
Why?
Because of the political dynamics in our country. Well, and even more importantly, Joy, I was raised to believe we do have to work hard for every vote. That is part of the responsibility that comes with choosing to run for political office, whether you're running for the local school board or you're running for president of the United States. And so I'm just going to talk to as many people as possible, like in Pennsylvania, where I was for the last couple of days, or next week I'm going to North Carolina, Ohio, and Virginia, talking in forums like this about what I think is at stake in this election and why I'm such a passionate supporter of my mom's, also owning my deep, deep bias towards her.
I like the disclaimer.
Well, and I always wanted a sister, so.
You got a crazy aunt.
I found you here. I found you here.
Okay.
I don't know if your mom would want to claim her as a daughter.
Yeah.
But crazy aunt is good.
That's a good one.
Now, Chelsea, Donald Trump recently said that he didn't think your mom looked presidential. What do you have to say to that?
I mean, do I even need to say anything? I mean, I think that sort of stands on its own. You know, I've been so much more troubled in this campaign by what he has said about women broadly, about Americans with disabilities, about our veterans, about Americans who don't kind of share his straight white male heritage. That to me is far more worrying than his sort of thinly or not so thinly veiled sexism toward my mom. She's tough, she can take it. You know, but I was in Pennsylvania this week as I was sharing, and I met a mother who told me a story that broke my heart then and continues to just stay with me. She said her son is in middle school, and he immigrated with his family to this country from Guatemala when he was 6 months old. And school started recently in Pennsylvania, and already he's had multiple people come up to him and say, you should go back to Mexico.
Oh.
You know, that to me is the consequence of the almost normalization of hate speech that we're witnessing in this election. And so that to me is what is so deeply troubling about what Mr. Trump and so many of his surrogates say, online, offline, because our kids are listening.
They really are. Our kids really are listening. I want to ask you, there's been a lot of scrutiny about the Clinton Foundation in particular. Your father, President Bill Clinton, says if your mom is elected, that he will recuse himself from the board. You plan on staying on. A, do you think that's appropriate? Some might see that as a conflict of interest. And B, will you continue to fundraise for the foundation?
Well, thank you for giving me the chance to talk about the foundation. When my father left the White House more than 15 years ago, he knew he still wanted to make a difference in the world, and I'm really proud of so much of the work that the foundation has done. I've been thinking a lot about school recently because my daughter is starting nursery school, and here in New York City, kids went back to school earlier this week, and well, you can applaud for my daughter starting nursery school. Thank you. And yet, you know, on a serious note, you know, just a couple of examples of the foundation's work that are affecting school kids here and around the country. Every high school in America now has access to naloxone, which is the nasal spray that immediately reverses an opioid epidemic because of our work. Because no child should ever die of an overdose in our country. 18 million kids now are in schools that are healthier because of our partnership with the American Heart Association. They have healthier school lunches. They have more physical activity options in and out of the classroom. So we have to protect that work. We also know that changes have to be made. That's why we said all of our international programs, including our global health work that provides AIDS medicines to 11.5 million people around the world.
It's incredible.
The programs that support thousands of women entrepreneurs around the world, those will be spun off as independent entities or to partners. We won't accept foreign funding or corporate donations. My father will step down, and I'm committed to helping steward that transition because it is complicated.
So you'll stay on the board and you'll continue to fundraise?
Well, for now, I'll certainly stay on the board. I mean, we also employ about 2,000 people. We have a responsibility to the millions of people who are benefiting from our work. We also have a responsibility to our employees to ensure that they have jobs in the future. And then once we get through that transition period, we'll see what the right answer is for the foundation and for me.
Chelsea, hold on a second, because we got to go. But we're going to come back, and you'll still be here. So we'll be back with more from Chelsea Clinton.
Clinton, I just want to say I love the fact that you and Donald's daughter Ivanka have been friends, and I think that friendships are really built up and strengthened by not only our similarities but our differences. But I know there was like a recent rag mag that said you guys stopped being friends. Is that true? How has the election affected your friendship?
Absolutely not. We were friends long before this election. We will be friends long after this election. Our friendship didn't start in politics. It certainly is not going to end because of politics. I have tremendous respect for Ivanka. I love her family. She's a working mom like I do. We have so much more in common than we have disagreement about.
When you say her family, you mean her children and her husband?
Yeah.
As your sister.
As my sister, Joy.
I thought you were the aunt. You're the crazy aunt.
Shut up.
She can be a cousin. I mean, she's just going to rotate through the family members.
You'll see her everywhere. You know, one of the biggest critiques of your mom made by lots of people who don't know her or who have not met her is that she is untrustworthy. And as a daughter, when you hear that, knowing all the things that you've sort of had to deal with your parents, but particularly with your mom, how do you feel when you hear that?
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, that's probably not such a surprise. I mean, with my husband, there's no one I trust more than my mom. I said something publicly yesterday, which I realized I hadn't said before, but is so deeply, deeply true that if, God forbid, anything were to happen to Mark and me, my mother would take care of my children. I mean, there's no greater kind of vote of trust and faith and love than that. So as a daughter, it doesn't make sense to me. I also think as someone who has been so lucky to be kind of at a ringside seat to my mom's public service career, it's not a new criticism. I mean, some of my earliest memories are from when my dad was running for re-election as governor in Arkansas in 1986. And he was running against a man named Frank White, who truly represented the worst of Arkansas's past. He'd been a governor of Arkansas before. He was an active segregationist. He opposed Brown v. Board of Education. And even though he's running against my dad, he spent a lot of the campaign attacking my mom.
Yes.
And attacking her for not being trustworthy because she spent so much time working outside the home. And so she must, therefore, be a terrible mother. And thankfully, even though I was 6, I knew that was crazy because I didn't have any sisters. Joy, you weren't in my life yet. And I knew that as an only child, I got the first and last word on my mom as a mom. And so, you know, for me, I just have heard these attacks for so long, and my mom just keeps kind of pushing for and fighting for and standing up for what she fundamentally believes, that until every child in our country has the right to live up to his or her God-given potential, you know, our work is not yet done.
You mentioned sisters, and I want to ask you, do you have any advice to the Obama daughters as they prepare to leave the White House?
Oh, I think President and Mrs. Obama have done an extraordinary job with Sasha and Malia. And I also think that Malia and Sasha deserve a lot of credit for having done an extraordinary job leading their own lives and becoming their own people. I do feel an incredible amount of kind of affection and sisterhood with the two of them, and I just wish nothing but the best for Malia on her gap year when she goes on to Harvard, for Sasha in her last couple years of high school, and I just am so excited to see whatever they'll do next, and I'm in their corner if they ever need to call me into the ring to support them in whatever ways I can.
Did you hide a treasure in the White House, or did they leave anything behind? Or
gosh, I don't know. I mean, I mean, knock on glass wood, that my mom wins in November, and we'll be moving back into the White House, and I hope they do leave a treasure for something to find.
Chelsea, we have to go. Thank you so much for coming. Please come by again. We will be right back.
Thank you.
Everybody's talking about how everything is coming undone.
The superstar voice of our new theme song, Mary J. Blige, rates how our ladies did as her backup dancers. Next.
Theme song for season 20, which needed to have a voice as fierce as this lady's. Please welcome Grammy-winning superstar Mary J. Blige.
So cute.
Thank you so much. Oh, hi.
Thank you so much for that, because that is the first original song that the show has had in 20 years. And I know the great songwriter Diane Warren wrote it. How were we lucky enough to have you record it?
Well, because Diane Warren wanted to work with me on this new album that I recorded, so she called and said, I want Mary to do this song, as she was submitting a song for the album. And I heard the song, and she was like, I really, really want you to do it. And so, I mean, for The View, first of all, I've been a fan for years. And I was like, anything for you, Whoopi, anything.
Well, you just a queen, you know that.
Thank you.
I mean, it has over 2 million hits on Facebook.
Wow. We had a lot of fun, too.
Well, for those of you who don't know about Diane Warren, she's written songs for Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and Aerosmith. And she couldn't be here today, but she has a little message for us and for you, Mary, and let's take a look.
A huge congrats to The View on its 20-year anniversary. I am proud to have written World's Gone Crazy, the first theme song The View has ever had. That is pretty cool. I have to say, that's pretty cool. Knowing the song will be shared with your audience every day is so exciting for me. A shout out to you, Mary, who made the song come alive, like you always do. You are one fierce lady, my friend. I'm looking forward to The View kicking some serious ass this season, and thank you for having me be a part of it.
Mary, I got to say, just a couple moments ago, you said we had such a great time, and we did. For those at home, it was just a couple weeks ago, we went to a New York City loft and we shot this music video. But I have to say, looking over and trying to dance in front of it was so intimidating to look over and see you watching us. What did you think about us? How did we do? Sarah's got moves, by the way.
Like you guys were having fun and just doing what you do. Like, you can only do what you know how to do. And you were having a good time.
Which is very limited for some of us.
Which is a nice way of saying some of y'all can't dance.
No, exactly. You're not going to be in her next video, is what she's saying.
No, Mary, I think you're getting your acting chops also in, what is the name of that? I can't remember it. Oh, How to Get Away with Murder, which I love the show. I just can't remember the title. What's the role you're doing?
Well, let me just first thank Shonda Rhimes for calling me. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Shonda's.
She does everything.
I mean, my favorite show was How to Get Away with Murder, next to Power and Scandal and Empire, of course. But to get a call from Shonda to say I can put my hands on Viola Davis and speak to her and have her talk to me and encourage me.
She's quite brilliant.
Oh, man, it was amazing. I can't give up the character, you know, but I can just say, yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Oh, you can't tell it.
I can't, no.
Is the character fierce?
I mean, she's fierce and fun, yeah. Yeah, but I got a chance to touch and hang out with Viola. I love her so much.
Oh, she's brilliant.
Yeah.
So when is the new album coming?
It's coming either December, you know, around December, before January. So we're trying to, you know, play it by ear like that. But it's coming soon, though. Yeah, you'll be hearing some music soon, too.
And you're getting ready to go on tour with somebody kind of fantastic, right?
Yeah, with Maxwell, y'all. The amazing Maxwell. Yeah.
I love him. I wish he was around.
Yeah, me too.
Please, God, is Maxwell here? Can I have
Double kisses. We got double kisses from Maxwell, Sarah.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
All these ladies here, I had to get a kiss.
Now, Maxwell, you guys have known each other for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
20 is the magic number today. Yes. Can you tell me about that? How you first met?
I mean, you know, I was a waiter somewhere in a restaurant, you know, trying to figure out how my dreams can come true. And then fast forward a few years, maybe a couple years, and I'm at the Soul Train Awards, and it's like one of those Lionel Richie moments where you're winning all these awards, and then I'm sitting on the side because, you know, she closes the show because it's Mary, right? And we're waiting for Mary to close the show, and she knew who I was, and she walked up to me and she was like, man, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and she's from Yonkers, so... Big Apple love, and you know, here we are, and I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm going on tour with Mary.
Excited too. I can't believe we're going out.
You're such fans. You're fans of each other, of others. It's nice.
Any teasers about the tour? What can we expect?
I mean, just expect Maxwell to deliver what he delivers. He's the king at what he does, you know. So I'm going to deliver the way I deliver. So, yeah.
Well, you'll make your legs quiver. I would say that. Go ahead.
Well, listen, we're hooking up our audience with some great surprises.
We are?
All day long. We are.
Oh.
So, Maxwell, we invited some really big fans of both you and Mary. But I heard that you may have a surprise for some of them.
I do have a surprise for someone. There is a Juanita Fletcher in the audience from Atlanta, Georgia.
Thank you.
Juanita, you have tickets to Atlanta to see the King and Queen of Hearts tour.
That Juanita's leg was quivering. I don't lie about that. I don't lie about that.
I was thinking it would be.
I'm telling you, it's no joke. Y'all are no joke. I'm telling you.
I saw some quiver life.
A big thank you to both Mary J. and Maxwell. For more information on their King and Queen of Hearts World Tour, check out our website and also be on the lookout for Mary's new album this winter. We'll be right back with Tommy Hilfiger and Gigi Hadid.
I'm Tommy Hilfiger. They asked me to tell you what's coming up next, and I know what you really want to see.
Hey guys, we're on in a minute.
So summer's almost over. But next week on The View, we're still bringing the heat with more hot topics, and we can't wait to...
Gigi Hadid and legendary designer Tommy Hilfiger are the dream team of style who are unveiling their hot new line at New York's Fashion Week tonight. And they are here today with a sneak peek. Please welcome Gigi Hadid and Tommy Hilfiger. You have been so incredibly successful in the fashion industry for over 30 years. And Gigi, you're only 21 and you are the biggest supermodel around. You are Tommy Hilfiger's global ambassador. You're on the cover of Vogue and you landed the coveted spot in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. So how do you handle all this success at such a young age?
I just take it day by day, as all of you guys know. It's a lot, but I think that it's really important to, you know yourself and know when you're pushing yourself too hard and be able to be honest with your team, have people that support you and know that your mental health and well-being is just as important as physical, and that's just what I try and focus on.
It's kind of fabulous, girl. Kind of fabulous. Now, Tommy, you and Gigi designed a new collection together called Tommy x Gigi. Now, I mean, I love it. And what was it about her that said, yes, this is the one?
She has this Southern California cool style. She has probably the largest social media following of any model. She has an incredible fan base.
Yeah.
But she also stands for great American values.
Yes.
And that's what my brand is all about.
Yeah.
So when she came into my design studio after we decided she would collaborate with me, she actually designed with me, choosing the buttons, the fabric, the thread. She was supposed to stay 2 hours. She spent 8 hours. I mean, She's been in fittings. She's been going back and forth with our teams. She's amazing.
So good work ethic there. And speaking of work ethic, Gigi, some former supermodels have said at times that you didn't have to work as hard, and it's only because of social media that you're famous.
Oh, excuse me.
What do you have to What do you have to say about that?
I mean, a lot of them haven't met me and haven't spoken to the people that I work with, and so therefore are judging me for a tool that I think would be dumb not to use. I think social media has been given to our generation to make us a different, you know, generation of models, and yeah, I think if you talk to the designers I do work with, they all know that I work really hard, and you know, I always say be kind, work hard, make a friend when I'm on set. So that's all that I care about, and if other people have to be negative to get through their days, then go for it.
Naomi has no issue.
Naomi is very supportive. I think
she loves Gigi.
Before the VS show, she invited me to her hotel, and we did practice runway walks in the hallway.
Oh, I wanted to do that so badly with you. We might do that after the commercial. Now, your new line, Tommy x Gigi, will debut tonight at your fashion show. It's going to be a huge carnival down at the Seaport. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, we decided to open the show to the public and create what they call buy now, wear now.
Yes.
As opposed to showing clothes on the runway in September and then delivering them to the stores in March.
Right.
We want to have instant gratification for the consumer.
Right.
We want an incredible experience. So it's going to be a multimedia extravaganza with rides and hot dogs and hamburgers and French fries and games. It's
Seaport Carnival.
That's right.
So great.
But it's also it's really launching the Gigi and Tommy Hilfiger collection together.
You know, yeah, it's just, I just want to say, it's just fantastic. And the fact that you always find the right way to stay relevant. I love you for this because it's heaven.
Yes, and it sounds so fun. And we have been surprising our audience with tons of fun today. We're going to do it again. Is there Sarah Gallagher in the audience?
Sarah Gallagher, stand up.
Samantha
Gallagher.
Samantha Gallagher. Okay, Samantha Gallagher. We heard that you're going to study fashion in college, and you're also huge fans of Gigi and Tommy. So, Tommy, would you like to tell her your surprise?
Yes, okay. So, would you like to come to the fashion show tonight?
Yes. I think
We have two tickets for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tommy, for coming. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Our 20-day vacay giveaway. Thanks to our sponsor, Wyndham Rewards. We want to announce today's online winner first. Congratulations, Jane Byrne from Pinnellville, New York. You're going to the Westward Look Wyndham Grand Resort and Spa in Tucson, Arizona. And now it's time for the studio audience winner. During the commercial break, we picked a number out of the bowl.
Yes, we did. Whoopi heated it up. And the number is 88. We're going to find out.
Let's see where you're going on vacation.
You won a 5-night, 6-day trip for two with round-trip airfare to Orlando, Florida, courtesy of Wyndham Rewards. At the Wyndham Bonnet Creek Resort in sunny Orlando, you can enjoy the nearby theme parks, have your own adventure on site, or dine at an award-winning restaurant. Enjoy grand deluxe accommodations with stunning views, 5 swimming pools, and much more.
We're giving away 2 more trips on Monday. Tune in to see which audience member gets one. And viewers at home need to visit our website by midnight Eastern Sunday night to see how to